Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, so the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Seth. I have a great guest here today. I met her through the Founder Institute, and she's from DC-ish area. Her name's Heather Lawver. She's the founder and CEO of CEMO, which is an automated branding, marketing, and pitching startup of sorts, kind of conglomeration for early stage startups. During the pilot phase, CEMO proved their undying methodologies by helping underrepresented founders raise over $20 million. Holy crap. $20 million in funding in less than 2 years. And to top that off, she's had 30,000 sales since launching in a month. 30,000 sales. That's ridiculous. She's obviously onto something. So anyhow, she started her first community organization at age 7. Oh man, she's not an overachiever at all. Her first 501c3 nonprofit at 13. Oh, show off. Successful international human rights campaign she founded at 16. So she's done a lot. She does a lot for BIPOC, LGBTQ plus A. Keep going with those acronyms there. And disabled entrepreneurs throughout the VC landscape. She lives outside Washington, D.C. with her nibblings, which is the gender-neutral term for nieces and nephews. I've learned that today. It's a cute name. And her white, fluffy dog, Tiberius, who is sheds everywhere, according to Heather. So let's bring Heather in. How's it going? How you doing? Or as Joey from Friends would say, how you doing?
Hi, Seth. I'm great. How you doing?
I'm a little caffeinated, if you couldn't tell. I'm a little caffeinated, but it's good. So what is CEMO?
Yeah, so CEMO is your friendly automated CMO. We've taken the concept of a chief marketing officer and turned it into an adorable little friendly robot who can help early stage founders, because being a founder is kind of a lonely process. So
It is,
we're to
yeah.
give you a friendly CMO to help you out. And the whole idea is we help you get from ideation to your first funding round as quickly as possible, giving you all the marketing materials you need to tell the world who you are, what you do, and why it matters.
You've practiced that before.
Yes.
Once or
Many
twice,
times.
yeah. Many times. And so CEMO, which now I know is CMO, with CEMO, kind of,
Mhm.
and it's .ai. So is it
Yes.
AI? Is it a whole AI system? Is it kind of pseudo? Is it kind of like Canva? Like, go a little bit more into like what the heck it is.
Sure. So right now it is our foundational algorithms, which we are adding AI and ML on top of.
Ooh,
But what it does right now is we're in beta mode. We just launched a couple weeks ago, actually.
30,000 sales worth.
Yes. It starts with a simple 5-step quiz. You tell us who you are, who your main competitors are. We have a partnership with Crunchbase, so you can look through their entire database of who your top competitors are and who your
Ooh.
dream investors are. We're still polishing off the algorithm that will trawl their entire database and look for branding trends across your top competitors, who's received investment most recently in your industry, and the portfolios of your dream investors, to then infuse your own brand with all of that market research to help you look like you belong in your market. And then we also
That's good.
combine that with 3 keywords that you choose that tell us how you want to be perceived by your customers. So thoughts and feelings and relational keywords that help to define who you are as a company. We combine your
Wow.
strategy with market research to generate a logo, a color scheme, and a font suite, so you have a full brand kit. But then the true magic of CMO is that we automatically apply that brand to proven pitch deck templates, marketing materials, everything you need to tell your story.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
And I know you kind of touched on that before, but you kind of look at a little more detail with that, and that's really cool. And so clearly, you've been an entrepreneur from a very early age, 7.
Yeah.
I think it's in 7, which is like wow.
Thank you.
And
I,
you're a nonprofit of 13. I mean, that's incredible.
Thank you.
And so what made you wanna be an entrepreneur? I mean, did you even know you wanted to be an entrepreneur at 7, or did you just kinda say, "I wanna do this, and it sounds like fun, I wanna do this?"
Um, Actually, at 7, I wanted to be a combination of Murphy Brown and the ladies from Designing Women.
Oh, wow. Talk about a
Um,
deep cut, yeah.
yeah, deep cut. Television definitely influenced my childhood. I wanted to be, like Miss Sugarbaker on Designing Women, who could stand up and tell a story and put anyone in their place, and
Oh,
Murphy
yeah,
Brown using storytelling to change the world, just the whole,
exactly.
whole thing. And so anytime I saw something that was interesting, anything I saw that was some kind of injustice in the world, I wanted to stand up and be that Julia Sugarbaker who could make it all right.
That's
So
awesome.
at 7, I ended up starting an educational program for kids on the army post that I lived in.
Oh, wow.
Um, and that was the first thing I ever started. So it wasn't so much about entrepreneurship, it was more about doing things to help people.
We're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show. I love it, and I guess, obviously, you have very supportive parents, because I mean, like,
Yes,
what
very
is
much
she up
so.
to what is she up to now? Oh, wow, that's actually a pretty good idea, go for it. That's awesome. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
great when we're supportive
they were amazing.
parents. So
Yeah.
are you an Army brat?
I'm an Air Force brat.
Air Force brat, okay.
Yes, Air Force brat, but we've lived on Army posts, UN posts, all of that stuff. But yeah.
Oh, so you've traveled the world.
Yeah, from a very young age, yes. I was very blessed in that regard. Favorite thing about the military.
Exactly, and then, is that the reason why you ended up around DC? Because I mean, it's kind of Army base central, well, base central around I mean, you drive around, like, you're driving down what are you driving down, the Baltimore, DC, not really expressway, more like a
Yeah.
potholed road, and you're driving by and, like, there's Pentagon, not the Pentagon, there's Fort Meade, oh, there's NSA, oh,
Yeah,
there's NASA. It's like, "Hey, kids, Big
every
Ben." No,
acronym.
"Hey, kids." There's another deep cut, from National Lampoon's European Adventure. But, "Hey, kids, look, there's the NSA. Turn off your phones," kinda thing.
Yep, definitely. But actually we ended up in the DC area because of my brother. So
Mm.
I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and my parents originally retired from the military and ended up in Arizona where they were born and raised. But my brother was part of the whole AOL craze. He started
Oh,
working with them very early and then moved out here when they moved their headquarters to Loudoun County.
yeah.
And then they announced they were pregnant with the first nibbling, and we
Oh.
followed them out here. So that was how I ended up in DC.
Oh, that's fun. So you just kind of came out to hang out with the family.
Mhm. Yep.
And now you're kind of it's like what, the Silicon Valley East side of the
Yes.
world. I mean, we're giving Silicon Valley a run for their money between the whole megalopolis from Boston to DC is insane with the
Mhm.
innovations that are going on here, and it's bigger than Silicon Valley if you ask, I mean, literally, physically. I mean,
Yep.
it is. I mean, it's Boston, DC is not exactly close to each other, so
Yeah.
but that's wild. So, you went from the nonprofit helping people, helping people with their in marginalized, you know you know, I'm trying to come up with a word here, you know you know, diverse communities.
Mhm.
So, what was the impetus for CMO? Like, what made you wanna say, like, "I need this," or "The world needs this"?
I like to say I tripped and fell into it.
Oh, I love that,
Um,
the best way to do it. Don't break an ankle doing it.
yeah, I actually did though. But yes. So the origins of SEMO started almost exactly 10 years ago. I was a fellow in the very first cohort of an incubator here in DC called the Halcyon Incubator,
Mhm.
started by one of the wealthiest women in the world who wanted to support social entrepreneurship.
Love
And I
it.
was very lucky to be in the very first cohort. And even though I'd started all of these companies before in the past, I had never pitched to investors. Halcyon was the very first experience I'd ever had
Yeah.
pitching to an investor. But my training in design, creative writing, childhood development, so how we learn and process information, and public speaking, and a little bit of television production, all came together perfectly to address and tell the stories of early stage startups. And so they were so pleased with the progress of me developing my own pitch that they asked me to come back almost every cohort after that for years, helping different founders with their brands and pitch decks.
Oh,
So
that's
I
so cool.
volunteered my time. I didn't get paid. I was just doing it for fun. And every
Yeah.
single year they told me, you should turn this into a company. And I kept going, no, I'm not qualified for that. Who'd hire me for that? No way. And so I just kept volunteering. I kept getting more people asking for help. After about 6, 7 years, this was in the middle of lockdown.
Oh, the
The
best of times.
co-found yeah, best of times, right? I was bored, didn't have anything else to do. And their co-founder again said, "You should turn this into a company because do you realize the founder you just helped just won South by Southwest with your deck.
Oh,
Another one just
wow.
won CES." So I
So you're onto
with
something.
yeah, I was onto something, and they said, "You need to turn this into a company, and by the way, we'll hire you." I thought, if I've got a client ready to go, okay, why
Oh,
not?
why not? Yeah, where did I sign? Yeah.
Yeah, so I started working with Halcyon. I was the very first person they had ever paid to provide services to their founders in almost a decade.
Oh, wow.
Um, I started developing a curriculum for their opportunity intensive program, which serves founders from the most impoverished regions of DC.
Yeah, and but
So I
people don't
helped.
realize DC is literally, what, 4 miles square,
Mhm.
but the majority of it is not what you see on TV.
No, it's they've got incredible levels of poverty, but also incredible levels of creativity and people who really
Mhm.
wanna they've seen the worst of the worst and they know how to solve it and they wanna make
It's
that
incredible,
happen,
it's a
but
4-mile square town. I mean, like, you look at a city like Philadelphia or New York, you're like, "Alright, there's crime, I get it." Like, it's a small town. I mean,
yeah.
DC is literally small town America, though it's not. It's not even one bit. It doesn't even look like small town America. I mean, come on now, monuments, it's very Romanesque. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's a 4-mile square it's 4 miles, right? Around yeah, about
something
that.
like that. It's tiny. It I think it's the biggest, most important small town in the world.
I know, small town America, DC.
Yeah. Exactly. So I developed a curriculum for them. I started working with the founders, and within about 6, 7 months or so, I'd already helped them raise over $8 million.
Oh, that's all.
That's all right. And I started to realize, okay, Halcyon saw something a long time before I did.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to figure out what it is exactly that I'm doing that's overcoming these biases. Because I'm talking about founders who traditionally get less than 5% of all venture capital invested in the world.
I
Less
know,
than
and but
5%.
now they're killing it. Yeah, now they're,
Yeah.
like, doing
So, what was I doing that was overcoming these biases? So, I started to think about it,
mm.
analyze it, and think through in my brain, okay, what decisions am I making when I brand and pitch a company? What is the overall thought process, and how do I turn that into an algorithm? So, I started
Why
working
not? At
on
this point, every algorithms are everywhere. Let's make this an algorithm, like, how else are you gonna multiply yourself? Exactly.
exactly, because I started to think, I quickly realized I was hitting capacity. There were always more
Mm,
founders who needed help, but there was only so much of me, and I hated having to turn anyone away.
yeah.
So, how do I replicate myself? And I had that first thought in January of last year,
Wow.
and I thought about it from January until I figured it out finally in July. Um,
Okay, that's not bad, it's not bad. That's
yeah.
pretty quick. That's pretty quick.
So then I started thinking, okay, how do I fund this? How do I get it built? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna bootstrap it. I'm an old school bootstrapper. I'll take my time, right? I'll fund it with revenue. It'll be fine. But then by the winter, I got into Techstars unexpectedly. I applied and thought, no one gets in
Unexpectedly,
on
I
their
don't think
first
it Heather, I
time.
don't think anything with you is unexpected. You might not see it coming, but I think everyone is expecting you to be there. So that's
Uh, I guess I don't know.
you're being modest, but I appreciate it, yeah.
I still think I trip and fall into everything.
You might, but I think people see you tripping.
Yeah,
I
I
think
guess.
people see, like, "Oh, here comes Heather. Let's catch her before she falls on her face." Got it. Perfect.
I like that. Yes. Um,
Seriously, it's like, "Oh, I unexpectedly got into Techstars." I'm like, "Have you looked at your background?" Like, for real.
Oh, so I got into Techstars Atlanta, which was wonderful, and that gave me the seed money necessary to then build the platform. So we've been building it. I also that same time frame last year, I was a partner at DC Startup Week, and I happened to meet an absolutely phenomenal developer who typically builds enterprise level software.
Ooh.
Um, his client just before me was literally a Fortune 100 company building their own internal software and their AI integration. And so when I first met, he flat out said, "I'm too expensive for you, but I love what you're doing. I'll be an advisor." So he helped me
That's
review.
how it happens, because then you
Yeah,
rope them in
I
slowly.
did.
You're like, "I need help with this. Hey, Bob," I'm not gonna call him Bob. "Hey, Bob, I need a little help with this." Before you know it, he's sucked in. That's how I am with one of the
Exactly.
Founders Institute guys that I helped out. I started out as an advisor. Within a week, I was the marketing lead because he needed help with stuff. I'm like, "Oh my
Yeah, that's
god."
exactly what happened with me and Jake. So yes,
Like,
his name is Jake.
not
So
Bob.
now Yeah, not boss. Now he quickly became my CTO, and now he's just agreed to become my co-founder. So that's very exciting.
Woo!
So yay, not doing it alone anymore.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
But yeah, so we built the software over the past 9 months or so, and it just launched a couple weeks ago.
And 30,000 ping points.
Yeah.
You just happen to trip and fall into them too.
That was a lot of work. I will say
Yeah, all
I'll
right.
take
You
more
own
credit
that
for
one.
that.
Own that one. You should own that one. That's a good one. So
Yeah.
what's the best thing about being an entrepreneur? I mean, because you've pretty much done it your whole entire life.
The best thing about being an entrepreneur is a lot of people will say it's the freedom. I don't think it is freedom because it's a lot of work. It's a
There's
lot of
no
work.
freedom in entrepreneurship. There is
No, I
not.
don't know
No.
why anybody gets into entrepreneurship thinking, "Oh, it'll be great. I'll be free. I'll be my own boss." That's bullcrap. No. And being your own boss is not fun. Um, it does have its moments, but no, it's a lot of pressure. My favorite thing about being an entrepreneur is it's a different kind of freedom in that you have the ability to see a problem and get creative about it. You don't have to
Mhm.
follow all of the rules and the protocols of a big company or go to a boss and hope they'll say yes. The best part is being able to see a problem, come up with a solution, and then actually see that solution work. There is no better feeling. And once you've seen that and had that experience of knowing that your hard work helped someone else,
Yeah.
no other job ever measures up after that.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that is a sound bite right there, folks. So then on the flip side, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up right now is fundraising. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
it is the worst environment I've seen in over 25 years for raising funds for a founder, especially at
Yeah.
an early stage. I hate to say it, but investors are expecting Series A level traction, but still behaving like and expecting Series A level feedback, but for seed money. Like to me, it
It's like,
doesn't make
excuse
sense.
me?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also just the kicking a can down the road and yeah, it's a frustrating process.
It's a
We're
slog.
currently
Yeah.
raising our seed round and yeah, it's a process, but we're making progress. We have our round half committed at this point. So
Wow. Good
if
for you.
any thanks. If anyone's really passionate about the future of B2B SaaS, AI, and quality and venture capital, hit me up.
That's awesome. We'll have everything in the show notes. So then what's the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
Uh, Most important thing to a notebook. My
Oh, yeah.
family and my assistant would say a notebook. I have a ridiculous collection of notebooks and spend way too much money on them, but
Oh, you
yeah,
gotta. If
you
you're gonna carry it
gotta.
with you, might as well make it look cute.
Yeah. Oh,
Like, I
notebooks
like
can
a
be
good
adorable,
well,
but
yeah,
yeah.
I need, like, a good moleskin. I like a good moleskin, but I have a my favorite thing now is a Remarkable. I love my
Oh, I've
Remarkable.
been wanting one of those. Are they
That
good?
one, it's worth its weight in gold.
Oh,
And then you won't buy another notebook because you won't need one. Because the one there, it's great, and it's
but
not a paid plug.
I love the feel of paper. Does it feel like
It feels like
paper?
paper. It's wild. It's expensive. It's like $500 after when you get done with all the accessories, but it's worth it.
It's turning into a commercial for Remarkable now. I totally want
I know.
one.
Hey, there you go. We should get some commission on that. So
Yeah.
Heather, where's your watering hole online? Where do you hang out the most? Where can people connect with you?
Probably LinkedIn,
Mhm.
would be the best spot. I used to be a total Twitter hound, but I've left Twitter at
Ugh.
this point. Yeah.
Ugh, it's
Um,
disgusting over there.
but
Cesspool.
yeah, definitely find me on LinkedIn.
Yes, and it's Lawver, like lawyer,
Yeah.
but the Y is a V.
It's a lawyer with the tail cut off.
Oh, I like that. That's very clever. Ouch. And CEMO, CEEMO,
MO.
is
Yes.
CEEMO
Correct.
dot
Dot
AI.
AI. Yeah.
It's like the AMCO. Hey, AMCO.
Double
Oh,
AMC.
I've had too
Yeah.
much coffee today, go figure, but yeah, this has been so much fun, and I'm gonna go check out your site and play around with stuff. It's totally cool.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Awesome, and guess what? We'll see everyone next time. That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode.